Hello everyone, my name is Matthew. Today I'm going to be showcasing my Jiyan, and I'm going to discuss if pulling Jiyan or building Jiyan in the first place is worth it. I meant Jiyan, not Jiyan. I am so sorry guys. Let me check if his echoes are actually correct. I think they should be. Yeah. So let me show you his echoes. This one, and like this isn't too bad. I mean, it could have gotten heavy attack and normal attack damage. This is pretty good. Even though Resonance Liberation damage bonus doesn't really concern him, it still gives him some damage. Not that bad. Let me also check if there's any. No. The only thing is this, and should I for this? You know what? I'm going to. Let me check. And this is pretty good, and this is really good. I just have a better build Jiyan. I normally stopped playing with Jiyan that much. Now, the problem with Jiyan is the fact that he's fully reliant on his ultimate. I genuinely loved him at first when I started playing the game, but there has been so many other characters that are extremely better than Jiyan in terms of their gameplay, in terms of their damage, even though I don't really care about damage, because even if you are building Lingyang, for example, if you build him right, he's going to actually deal a lot of damage, because every character in this game
the battlefield is dynamic,
based around dealing damage. Even supports at this point, obviously older supports don't really deal any damage, but even Shorekeeper can deal a ton of damage if you give her enough crit damage and HP. Now, the thing with Jiyan is that while I love him to death, the game hasn't been favoring his playstyle. And I have him at R2, he hasn't been rerunning. Normally, I was planning to get this at the very least, so he could play so much easier. His first resonance chain doesn't really do that much. It is really good for getting his ultimate back up, but yeah. And this also enables him to do very easy sickles without using too much of his resolve, which you use in order to do a lot more ultimate damage. And this one, and his attack gets a lot more. And these are very quality of life. And for example, this is the first extremely good damage increase. This also improves damage a little bit, but this also improves damage a lot. Now the thing is, to compare him with Jiyan, who is a newer character, who is a lot better than him, sadly. I also have his signature weapon. His build is immaculate. He's my most built character. He's fully built, and I got him at Resonance Chain 2, and this basically gives him 20% crit rate. Obviously, you don't want to be interrupted in these states, but the most important thing is he gets a crit rate increase, and this is also not that bad, especially since it also buffs him. But you would get his Resonance Chain too if you wanted to buff other teammates, in my opinion. So coming back to Jiyan, I have been saying Jiyan probably, but it's Jiyan. And coming back to Jiyan, his build is mostly great for me, but like I said, if you would like his playstyle in the future, if he reruns again, and I hope he reruns, or at least gets to the standard banner, you can pull for him. He's good. He deals a lot of damage in his ultimate, which actually doesn't take that long to fully do. He also gets crit damage from his passive here, and attack increase too. So you are going to be very comfortable with his crit rate to crit damage as long as you focus on his crit rate first. Having said that, his teammates are very important. I use Mortify, and I don't think there is any other character that you can use with Jiyan that increases its damage so much. My Mortify is very buff giving character. and also he has good stats. It's not that great. I think 220 crit damage in this game is too little, but he also has his C Resonance Chain 6, which gives everyone attack, which is pretty good. I don't think any of his other Resonance Chains do not give any buffs. And my Shorekeeper is
understood. I am
fully
here
built.
to serve your will.
She doesn't have any Resonance Chain, and I do want to get this because it makes her extremely easy to play, probably. And maybe R2 too, but she also hasn't been rerunning in a long time. And she's using this Echo set, obviously, because what else would you use on her? And I'll just showcase my damage in Whimpering Waves. As you can see, I got like really bad score with Kartetia team. They're not bad, but this Whimpering Waves doesn't really favor them, I think. I don't know, maybe I'm just bad at the game. It is time to play with Jiyan. I'm going to say, I remember saying like 12 to 16k damage from Jiyan. I don't know how much his damage will increase with the 35% aero buff. But let's see.
Vanel. Inferno.
Loading. In war with time.
Fury boils. Feel my wrath. Testing output. Burn. Ready for battle. Lend me your power. Unstoppable.
21k. Approximately, yeah.
Break.
So he's not bad, like, thinking of the fact that he deals like damage 5 times a second or something like that. He's really good actually.
As you wish.
Loading. Astral modulation.
Fury boils. Burn to ashes. You're wide open. Lend me your power. Fear no more. Seven.
Ordained.
Burn! As you wish.
I engraft you new.
Fury boils. Inferno. Silence. Testing out. Ready for battle. Lend me your power. Unstoppable.
Look at that damage. I love his ultimate because it deals like so much damage in like several occasions. So you can actually use it to get rid of several
Vow from the
ways.
soul. Diminish.
As you wish.
Loading. In war with time.
Can you die?
Fury boils. Burn! Burn to ashes. Testing out. You're wide open.
I need to use it right now because there's only 1 second. And yeah, finished. Look at all that damage. And he actually compares to my Jiyan build actually. This doesn't, for me, it doesn't really change anything because I still am missing a huge part of Kartetia theme, which is the girl with the music. So I'm pretty sure if I get that girl, I do not remember her name, but like she is not rerunning ever. I need her to rerun. I also need Shorekeeper to rerun, but like her for Kartetia team, I need her to rerun. But as you can see, he's actually still comparable to my Jiyan. Problem with my Jiyan is that he is obviously resonance chained. So
The battlefield is
if you
dynamic.
are not
Do not
willing
let your guard
to
down.
give him as much power as I have been, he's not going to actually be comparable that much. Because, but still, think of these as like, especially this, as quality of life upgrade. Of course, I can run him very quickly because of this upgrade, but this specifically gives him a little bit more playability, quicks the weapons and stuff like that, and also gives him some more damage. But like, take this out, even take these out, his damage still would be really good. Since until here, I'd say that he doesn't get really well with his resonance chain. And like at this point he gets so much damage. But I think that his resonance chain is still a little bit underwhelming. If you are going to if you want him, if you are going to build him, if you have him and you want to build him, my opinion is that obviously build him. And like you saw, he's actually better than Markartathia, since she's really well built in my opinion. She's not bad at all, but she's still he's still not as well.
Do not let your guard down.
She's still better than Kartathia. And I am a fully free-to-play player, by the way. And you saw my echoes. They are not the extreme best. These are really good, obviously. But like, for example, this can still change. It just has so much crit rate that I don't want to change this. But these still can be improved, which means that you can still do a lot more damage with him. Like I said, I normally see 16k damage with him, 14k damage with him, which is still a lot. And Mordefy also helps him with his damage, because he deals like 4 or 5k damage per coordinated attack. And since she's dealing so much instances of charge attack after his ultimate, they are a match made in heaven. Also, you saw how much damage Shorekeeper also dealt.
To serve your will.
In my opinion, if you are going to build Shorekeeper, I also need to get... yeah, by the way, I do not have her signature weapon either, so my damage could have been 10 times better even. But if you are going to build Shorekeeper, in my opinion, you should give him crit damage as much as you can on your substats, as well as obviously energy regen. So that has been what I was trying to do. For example, this doesn't have energy regen, but it has so much crit damage. And I recently made this, and look at this. This is amazing. So she deals a lot of damage, like 50k to a single enemy every time it is her turn. And then he deals like 5k per his ultimate, and like you can do extremely good numbers with this kind of team. Would I tell you to get Jiyan? If you are a person that strictly looks at numbers, do not. And if you do not have him yet, I'd say do not get him, because most of the newer characters, and I don't have A-Math, none of the very new DPS characters, but if you are going to get the new characters, if you are looking for a DPS rather than a character that you would strictly enjoy playing, and like you would spend so much time building, like I wouldn't recommend Jiyan, because he needs a lot, and I mean a lot of time to build him. He's not as expensive as some other characters. Like if you do not have Shorekeeper, just give him Verena. If you do not have R6 Mortify, he's not going to lose that much damage. But Mortify and him, Mortify is like a really core character in this, as well as Verena or Shorekeeper. But if you are going to pull someone, I'd suggest pull Jiyan, and then pull like one of his DPS characters. And I do use Jiyan as a main DPS, by the way. It's just me. I hope every Jiyan enjoyer like me in the future gets a well-made Jiyan or like gets an update to Jiyan, because I do believe that Jiyan needs a small bit of an update. I wouldn't say he needs a big update. His base numbers are good, I think. He needs a small change in his resonance chain, I think, and maybe on his, I don't know. He needs a little bit more damage. That's all I'm saying. But he's still a really good character in my opinion. That's all I'm going to say. You saw how much damage he dealt with my team and my build. You saw his resonance chain. I do believe that if you are going to play any game, any gacha game specifically, if you are not enjoying the characters that you have, if you do not like how they look, you are not going to enjoy the game. So even if you have the newest DPS character, you are not going to enjoy them. I started Wuthering Waves on the pretense of having played Genshin Impact, and on Genshin Impact I realized that if I like a character, I should have, before I actually spent like years playing it, I should have made a point to like focus on a character instead of focusing on 10 characters at once. And I focused on Jiyan for like a year, and I, like you saw, I got his resonance chain to 2 because I really enjoyed playing with him, and I 100% knew that he was going to fall off at some point. Does it mean that he's bad? No. I showed you. He actually rivals Kartathea. And since he's an old character, I had the time to actually get his resonance chains and build him properly. If you are a new player that wants to get any character in Wuthering Waves or any character in gacha games, if that gacha game takes their power creep slowly, I'd suggest you pull a character that you like, that you seem to like, play with them. If you really love them, then focus on them. Because even if the game throws at you 10 characters a month, if you have a character that you built that has the max stats, it is going to carry you for like a few years at the very least. At the very least. For example, if I just got like full resonance chained my Jiyan at this point and didn't have any other characters, obviously I wouldn't be able to finish or do the end game content because they require more than one team, but I would still be able to clear everything without any issues because I would have the damage. And since I like Jiyan, I wouldn't be sad that I didn't pull any characters. But that's the decisions that you have to make. For example, I made a bad decision and pulled Zani.
Anything I can
Why is
help
this a
you
bad
with?
decision? I do not have her signature weapon. I do not have any weapon that actually fits well on her. I tried to build her to my best, but without her teammate, I forgot her name, without her, she deals ass damage. And that's why I was focusing on Kartathea, because I
palette is
love her
split
gameplay. I do
and
not
match
like
matter.
Zani's gameplay.
Anything I
I
can
pulled
help you
her
with?
because she looks good, and then I realized that I do not actually like her gameplay. But Kartathea, I
The
love her
palette is
gameplay.
split
So
and match
I
matter.
pulled Chisa, and I pulled her weapon.
Scissors
I
at the ready.
also have Kartathea's weapon. And in the future, I am planning to replace my Sanhua with the character I forgot the name of, the gun wielding character. And if I do that, I have at least 2 teams that are going to carry me for a long time. Obviously, if you do not care about the endgame content, focus on what makes you happier. If you want all the characters, if you are a collectionist, go for the characters. Do not care about how much damage you deal, as long as you have one team to clear the overworld. But that's all I'm going to say about this. In the end, if you
The
love
battlefield is
Jiyan,
dynamic.
go for
Do
it.
not let your
If
guard
you
down.
reruns again, go for it. I heavily suggest you pull, especially for DPS characters, pull their weapons. And for support characters, if they are going to be able to support the main character that you like with their weapon, go for their weapons too. But do not care about, especially if you are going to play the characters that you like with the idea of you are going to play them just because you like them, pull for them. Jiyan is still good even though he is 1.0 character. The only thing that I do not like about Jiyan at this point is that his world exploration is bad because he relies on his ult too much, and if you do not have his ult, you are going to actually struggle a little bit with dealing with the overworld monsters. That's why I got Brand actually in the first place, because Brand is so good with
To which stage will life
dealing
guide
with
us
the overworld
next?
monsters, and I am building him,
Well,
and I do not care
whatever it
if he
is,
is a team
I'll
or not.
play my
He's
role to
so
the
so
fullest.
good, and that's all. I hope you liked this video. I love you. Have a great time. Have a great day. Have a great experience with Wuthering Waves or any other gacha game that you want to play. And see you later.